podcasters. I'm Faded.
Hey, so again, this game is gonna be pretty exciting here. The Chicken Riders again. I think they're currently, uh, when they played this game, the top in the standings. I think they're tied for first, although I'm not sure. But they're definitely the first or tied for first. So this is gonna be a pretty exciting game. As they seem to be trying to continue their series and actually get and continue their first dominant streak.
Yeah, of course, especially um, it's always hard to maintain first place, and you always want to be that team at the end of the day that's in first. You want to keep that win streak going, uh, unlike C9 did in the second half of the season. But we don't talk about that.
Yeah, that's not to do, clearly.
But it was great. It's great. Hopefully, we can see some peak League of Legends gameplay today. And as we're going to actually start the pro draft any moment, what are the champions you kind of want to see?
I didn't really do too much research, but I have seen a very kind of solid style coming from the Dragon Riders here. Like they work together pretty well in my opinion, and I feel like they're just team cohesion is just really up there, and I really am excited to see what they can bring in this game, against this team.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've been playing, I think, for the past week on LAN. Don't recommend that to anyone. But I've seen in, especially in my LAN solo queue adventures, I've seen a lot of just Caitlyn, Ashe in the bot lane, and sometimes a Senna. I really like the Senna pick, so hopefully we can see it in this series at some point.
Yeah, the trifecta of competitive picks has been the meta in the bot lane for multiple patches now, pretty much for the second half of the summer split. Okay, for over 2 months now, pretty much. You
In
have
Korea,
Caitlyn.
in Korea they actually play Aphelios, which is insane for me.
Yeah, I mean, especially after his nurse, I feel like it's very difficult to pilot him, and unless you can really get him to that 200-year stage, it's gonna be pretty difficult. And he doesn't provide as much kind of early to mid game. Like if he kind of falls behind, he's rather useless, rather than compared to, for example, Senna and Ashe, who can provide some utility for the team, even if they happen to fall behind.
Mm-hmm. So let's see. I believe they have started, but I think there has been an error. Actually, no. Two misbans from this team, and Chicken Riders now banned Darius Warwick and the god mid lane, the queen of mid lane, Annie, of course. And now here comes this pick with this team with this pick right now. As I think what they're gonna go for is either they're gonna prioritize the bot. Yeah, there we go, Caitlyn. Maybe we see an Ashe here for special. Oh my god! And the Caitlyn Ashe pick, of course. Did I ever tell you guys I'm a time wizard? Now we see an Olaf pick. So Olaf is a very interesting pick, especially against the Caitlyn. I'd prefer the Olaf against the Ashe. But I think that's why they picked it, just so they can take it away from the team.
Absolutely, and also Olaf can just run through the Caitlyn traps if that has that. Like if Caitlyn doesn't use her E effectively, Olaf can ignore all the traps and just run straight at the Caitlyn. But here Jarvan's gonna come out to basically ult the Olaf and the Ashe to make sure they can't move. Like Olaf can't ult out of it as it's just terrain, and Ashe,
No.
immobile champion, can't get out of it either.
Now they pick Set. Okay. And a Silas. Okay, so that Silas can be flexed either mid or jungle. But then again, we have the Olaf, so I don't think it's going jungle, so that's probably a mid. Unless Silas top. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So now I would say they'd probably look to ban support and mid laners as they think the set's going support, I think, with the Shen ban, or are they banning that Shen jungle? No.
No, they're banning Shen top, I'm pretty sure.
No, because Shen jungle's a thing. But they already picked the Set and the Jarvan.
Yeah, that's
now
very
like Galio. Galio's probably for mid, unless it's Shen and Galio support, which is two not meta, but decently good picks.
And
Panama.
Chicken Riders here, they're just kind of denying this team's, or they're trying to prevent champions that can follow up on Jarvan or Sets Engage. Both Shin and Yalu work super well together with Dive and Engage, so they're kind of just trying to mitigate that by banning out those champions, which is very interesting.
So, okay, now we have a Silas. Supports. Okay, supports are gonna be Yumi and you know what, Thresh. I'm gonna throw a Thresh up. Let's see if I get it. As with the Ornn pick here, top. It's answering sort of the set since Ornn can still fight from a distance, especially with his Q poke, and with his W, the brittle permanent CC that he can deal. I think Gordon was a pretty decent pick. Wukong. I'm thinking it's a. No, I think that's a set support. Jarvan jungle, Wukong top.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like they have to pick a mid laner now, and it has to be pretty heavy AP, as it will be the only source of magic damage on the side of this team. So, very interesting to see here. I mean, there is quite a few control mages in the mid lane, or that can go solo AP, such as the Ziggs.
Wait, so okay, so it is a set support. Now let's see a Yumi. Other than that, I think support wise they need to go something with a lot of disengage. So the Thrush is there, John is there, Lulu can be really good, Nami. So I think that's what Chicken Riders might go with here as they pick the. You know what? I can see that working. Obviously he's gonna try and time his old the same time as Wukong is, hopefully. Um, and realistically, if they can just keep the Ash alive long enough, she can carry this game. Silas can steal anyone's ult, so if he steals Wukong or Jarvan ult, that would be huge for them. Ziggs going to try and be poking the Silas, which Silas is gonna have an awful laning phase early. And Olaf should out jungle the Jarvan at least early game.
His Claire is much faster than the Jarvan, and he's kind of more farm oriented, at least for the first couple levels, compared to Jarvan, who is more gank oriented with his early level 2, level 3 ganks. And I feel like this team has drafted a kind of pretty engaged heavy comp, but they've paired it with Caitlyn and Ziggs, so they also have a lot of poke as well, so they can be a little bit versatile in their comp, which I think is really nice. They can go with that all in, or they kind of poke their opponents so far and whittle them down. Instead of Chicken Riders, we have a lot of frontline champions. So range wise, I feel like this team has the advantage with Caitlyn Ziggs against what looks like only the Ashe on the side of Chicken Riders. So hopefully, I think the win condition for this team is to kind of set up lanes to optimal positions, and then either try to siege or force a fight onto the Baron. And then if the Chicken Riders come, they can go with their massive engage onto them. And I think for the side of Chicken Riders, they have a lot of utility, as well as crowd control, and Silas can steal ultimates or an Enteric ult or two very powerful team fight ults. So they're really looking for also team fighting, but kind of in a different way, as they can't really afford to be whittled down by this team's artillery champions.
So listen. As an ADC main, right? I've learned a lot from my 6 years of playing League of Legends. That being said, I started watching Sneaky View, right? And seeing as Mr. Chicken Sandwich has picked the Ashe, I expect him to go the Manamune Ashe build. Which
would not be a bad decision.
Because you gain so much more damage overall, and it's a lot more gold efficient.
It is very much
other
so
than
gold
like
efficient.
the Essence Reaver or the Bork build. That being said, I'm also a firm believer in the Cole, and probably I think what Caitlyn's gonna do is she's gonna go the fleet footwork, presence of mind, bloodline cut down, for runes, and probably gonna start a cold start.
And I think that, to be honest, like for team com wise, this team's draft is a lot more linear, and in my opinion, that means a lot easier to execute. So we'll see if Chicken Riders can play around this team's strong kind of set win conditions. But I feel like they can definitely make something happen here. But I feel like this team is just so much easier to execute, and it's whether Chicken Riders can also execute to that level or better. And I think that will be kind of what determines the result of this match or this game, anyways.
For final thoughts, I feel like Wukong versus Ornn. Ornn should have it a little bit easier early game. And I think he can probably keep Wukong at bay. Olaf Jarvan. Olaf has stronger clear early. Jarvan has a lot of ganky potential though in the early. Ziggs Silas. I think Ziggs has the advantage because of the range and because of the poke. Caitlyn Ash. I think it's a very even matchup. Set Taric though. I think Taric does have the advantage, just because if Set tries to go for a stun, Ash can not Ash. Taric can instantly stun him with an E.
And clearly, I mean, pretty solid drafts coming from both sides. Again, I prefer the blue draft because I belong in Elo Hell, and in their how linear team comp is basically their win rate. But of course, this is much higher league than the Elo Hell that I belong in, so it should be very interesting. And I think both teams have a very nice, a fighting chance for the victory in this game one.
It all comes down on who can play their roles better, who can hit their power spikes first. And honestly, in the side of this team, they have to end the game early. Chicken Riders obviously outskills in every single lane except for jungle, I believe. Even though Ziggs is one of the highest damage dealing champions in League of Legends, we still have the ornaments that can boost both Silas and Ash's power. We have Taric that can literally keep anyone in his team alive for at least 1.8 seconds. We have like so much utility. We have the Ash arrows for peel. We have the Ornn ults for engage, disengage. Like there is so much going right for the team of Chicken Riders that I really think that this team, to be able to win this, have to smash early and transition that lead into mid game.
Yeah, absolutely. But I feel like that I completely agree with you. I mean, Chicken Riders do have that amazing skilling in Taric, Silas, Ornn, and Ash. Olaf not so much. While this team only really have Ziggs that skills that being set. It really depends on if he can ult the tank into a lot of people. If he can do that, then he'll be very valuable as well. Again, same for Wukong. His value really largely depends on like what kind of play he's able to make. Is he able to get the flank off? Is he able to ult up like 5 members, right? It really just depends on the situation for whether they scale or not. And I think that will be very interesting as team fights late game, even late game can go either way based on how each team positions in place.
Okay, so what we're actually gonna do now is we're gonna throw it into a small break just to get everything set up, and hopefully we can see you then. See you. Okay, and welcome back. Chicken Riders versus this team. As we see, they're going to actually start off with
Oh, nice few lands here.
30 seconds until
not much happening after that. Only the six flush going down. But already
Flash for
strong
flash.
start. Yeah,
Yeah,
already
flash for
strong.
flash happening here. I mean, Zig certainly has no, or has nearly no. I mean, he has his W, but he's still pretty vulnerable. So this is pretty good flash burn in here. Red team looks like is going to look for an invade.
Just gonna ward. Really good ward, by the way, on the Raptor thing. As now the Dragon Rider is in a bit of trouble. Here comes Monte Carlo method doing a little bit of damage, but not that much to really say it was a trade, to be honest. As oh no, Dragon Rider, not again. This time in a pretty bad position, going to lose a lot of health.
But this is super bad for him because he can't really just recall here. So he's gonna have to go to lane with half health, which I think will give in that case a lot of priority up in the top lane to do basically whatever he wants around the tops of the map, at least for the early levels.
Yeah, taking a pretty bad trade. There's a lot of minis there for the Nutcase. He is currently, and he also used his pot, so that's going to put him even further behind it. Now a little bit of a skirmish. Oh, and also weird to see a lethal tempo on Kate. Don't really see it that much. So here comes a lot of damage coming out from the bottom lane from this team.
Yeah. So with the lethal tempo, it does give you quite a bit more DPS one compared to the fleet, which is the usual. Fleet does give you a bit more sustain and a bit more utility, but I mean lethal tempo is still very solid, especially against a team who have some tankiness, such as just out of chicken nose. So you have the orange Olaf and Tarek. Pretty tanky.
Caged Reaper's doing to baby there. Already chunking him so much. Quarter HP on him. And look at the damage from Warren. In that case, needing to back off like a little bit. Actually goes back in. Maybe versus Caged Reaper doing a lot of damage. They are fighting in all places in the map right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all three lanes are trading pretty heavily here. Ziggs is out of mana, so he won't be able to do much, or punish the punish Baby with abilities now. But I mean, those Ziggs auto attacks still carry their weight. As looks like this team is gonna have early priority in all three lanes, which is somewhat bad for the Olaf, as he will be spotted on a ward here, heading to his top side.
Oh, but look at Bozet going to have another fight. That's a lot of damage coming out from the Caitlyn. Aoka. Oh, and the snipe, the Q snipe coming in. Captain Snake, first blood.
That was just super good on the side of this team. Positioning Sandwich was unable to press either of his summoner spells during that time. He just didn't expect to get hit by all those abilities there, and the Caitlyn Q really the final nail in the coffin there, finishing that up. Very nicely played. A good combo by the side of by the side of this team.
Oh, but look at Dragon Rider. Unfortunately, not landing the E. Going to be extremely low. I don't think he backed. I think he just built an item in lane.
Yeah, which means that he does have TP. So in theory,
So much damage.
yeah, the Ukon early game is still actually pretty decent. Especially because he was able to get that HP back. So now he's up, that extra longsword, which is not too significant, but it does make him do a lot more damage. As mid lane comes back, we'll push back to the side of Celis.
Coming down now, and that's a lot of damage still coming in from the Wukong, but even more damage coming in from Dragon Rider on the ult. And yeah, as you were saying, this team is really pushing into the side of Dragon Riders. Everyone is under their towers CSing. They can't really do much. Oh, but here comes Baby trying to engage, but not much gonna happen. But Lightning 13 on the Olaf try to gank, but again, not much going to happen again.
Yeah, spotted out by the ward there and just unable to really do anything. Both junglers are actually playing relatively passively. No real, I guess, ganks. Although no real opportunities either, as the amount of vision given to both teams is absolutely insane.
Look at that damage coming from Zen already. Jeez. That
Yeah,
Q
he does poke
really
quite
does
hard.
hurt. The Olaf is just gonna walk by. The baby is getting really low, getting chunked insanely by Caged Reaper here.
Yeah, the poke is actually super. It's immense instead of this team. Even like early game, it's already pretty scary. Now imagine that Ziggs on that Ludens or maybe on that Archangels. It's gonna be even more scarier as we transition into the mid game, or when we transition to the mid game.
Because now, in bot lane, that's how you should play Caitlyn lane. You just need to chill. But here comes a dive. Baby getting really low, but doing the damage, and that's going to be a trade-off. Monte Carlo unfortunately falling there, but that's not all. In top lane, we have a fight between the Nutcase versus the Dragon Rider. They're both doing insane amounts of damage. The Nutcase is getting really low, but so is Dragon Rider. Dragon Rider is trying to back off though. That's going to be a the Nutcase and a Rider. He's surviving with like 10 HP. That one Lightning 13 gonna answer back, and Kid Ryders just gonna flash it. He's going to be safe.
A very interesting series of events has just unfolded before our very eyes. As you can see, top lane and mid lane, a lot of fighting going on. So that was, I mean, the tower dive was not the cleanest tower dives, but it did work out as maybe I think did miss most of a wave, but he was able to get back and burn Cage Reaper's flash. So that's also pretty big there. I think he just got his flashback from the beginning, the invade in the beginning, although I'm not sure. Maybe it's been a minute since that happened, but I feel like time's very close as.
Now they're gonna start the dragon. It's probably gonna be a bit of a fight here, as the Dragon Riders. Actually, no, they're all backing off. Dragon Riders does not have the pressure enough to do the dragon, but and this team can really get there a lot quicker because of just the presence they have in lane.
Absolutely here. First dragon against Super, kind of, Olaf, as Olaf and as Jervin, you both want to kind of go for place and then get that dragon. Olaf is able to solo it at pretty much level 4, so it's very interesting that no dragon or no dragon fight.
But if I come up top lane, Dragon Rider, not really taking that much damage anymore. He's becoming a tanky boy. As now, not much is gonna happen. Dragon though, you gotta watch it. Olaf and Silas are both on it, and will they secure it? Yeah, it's a free drink. Just like that.
It looks like this team will be trading it for the Herald here, so the classic dragon for Herald. It's in the early games. If they're able to make a plan to get tower, or most of a tower with that Rift Herald, it's gonna be worth it.
Block. And here comes the ulti. Unfortunately, Set can just walk straight out of it. Olaf is still looking.
He's still gonna be chilling that bot lane looking for that kill. As they will grab that Ziggs ult. Say thank you. Do some damage.
And now the Herald secure, the dragon's out of the map. I think they should probably throw that Herald deadly, and they will. Especially since Baby just backed in a very important attempt. That's going to be a lot of pure play going.
Yeah, and I feel like this might be the tower here with Ziggs W available here. So I feel like this will just be the entire tower. A 10-minute first tower is going to be picked up, I think.
Yes, it's going down, and not only that, but also Olaf, Lightning 13, going down as well.
Ziggs Jarvan combo here will secure the kills Lightning 13Z, and pretty decent size advantage. 3,000 gold, 3,100 gold for the side of this team. So.
Oh, but wait, Set's looking like the imposter. He just vented into the Ashe, but Ashe just flashes away.
Yeah, really channeled that vent for a while, but not quite able to get it. I mean, it was able to hit the flash, so obviously worth.
Oh, and here comes Dragon Rider. Going to do not much, honestly. This is looking like this team is playing to their win condition. They're playing the early game extremely well. They're getting what they need to, and they're trying to transition it into the mid game.
Absolutely here. Again, pretty sizable lead. With that mid tier 1 gone, it's going to be very easy for these to get kind of shove that lane out. I mean, if they'll try to stop him, obviously, and be able to, you know, roam around, maybe get a couple of ults off and try to influence lanes. And I think he's going to be pretty good at doing that. And also, that's a lot of gold also, so that's going to allow multiple members of this team to maybe silencing a bit better, as silence I think are going to be pretty important with 3 TPs inside the game and Silas and Orm. Both being able to silence as well as Silicon.
I'm incredibly surprised that Ziggs, or not Ziggs, Monte Carlo method isn't really looking for like any ganks around mid lane, especially without the turret. Silas really stepping up, but not really much to answer him.
Now looking for the bot lane here. Again, nothing looks like is going to happen. Next objective is going to be the dragon, I feel like, and this team seems to be in a very good spot right now.
Dragon Rider also is not winning trades at all, but he is a level ahead.
Yeah, and he's
because
up,
of the TP and the stay.
and he's up in CS as well, so he's definitely not behind necessarily. But I mean, there is a goal discrepancy, and it is 2,800. Which is good.
Oh, and here comes the Wukong, gonna do a lot of damage to the Dragon Rider, but will it be enough to kill him? As yes, it's going to be enough, but unfortunately Olaf's there. Olaf, nothing is stopping him. Oh my god. Okay, baby secures the kill on the nutcase. And that is going to be all she wrote for him. 1 for 1.
I was pretty close, honestly. Again, the fake almost working there, but you know, baby be there to shut him down just in the nick of time. And
look,
I feel like maybe if he
bot tower now going down. 4 people.
4 people. It looks like they're gonna trade the mid tower for the bot tower here. A lot of turret plates just gone here. Off the spot, north engaged.
Oh no, Mr. Chicken Sandwich finally going down Aoka. Where are you running? There is nowhere to go. But Cage Reaper going to get executed. And no, apparently there was somewhere to go as the Dragon Rider now shows up. Will he be able to do anything? Mech it. Run for your life. As now he's gonna find an enemy turret and going to die. But also, there comes Baby, taking down Monte Carlo.
Very intense tower dive there. I mean, they were able to get, what, 4 plays off that tower, so a lot of gold coming in. Overall, the gold is still very favoring this team here. But, Chicken Riders will start the Ocean Dragon, and if they can get this dragon, I feel like they're in very good position to take over the game. If they were able to get the dragon.
It's gonna test this rig. Now we finally get to see what the song's gonna be. It's Clouds. Cloud Soul would really benefit both sides extremely.
Yeah, Cloud Soul is just very, very powerful for both teams, because it's really powerful when you want to like run at people, and also it means a lot of 12 dragons, which means ultimate CDR. And that is going to be very powerful, in my opinion, for both sides. As you can see, the Ornn ult, Ashe ult, Silas ult, and Terra ult are both really important ults with cooldowns that are, you know, pretty sizable, that can be cut down severely. And also on the side of this team, I mean, all 5 of those ults can use a shorter cooldown. Maybe, yeah, all 5 of those ults could use a shorter cooldown, as they're very effective ults, and the cooldowns are pretty low in the late game.
And now they're just clearing waves. They sent their bot lane, mid lane, the longer lane, to try and get some more pressure on it. But Dragon Rider is just ignoring that case now. In that case, not really doing enough damage to be able to kill him. It's probably going to be the death of him. As Dragon Rider's running, that's going to be an E landing 1Q, and that's the end of the nutcase. Solo kill. Top tied by the Dragon.
Well, a pretty incredible 1v1 to this. Doesn't even have to use the flash, and that's very solid for the top set, as I think they'll be looking to get this Rift Herald as the game continues on into the 15th minute.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
I think the fall of the Nutcase's damage comes from building 3 components without actually finishing a single item.
Yeah, he really does need to grab that full item here, but he is just kind of spreading out his gold, which is not necessarily good, as Ornn is going for that full Sunfire speed.
And here comes the fight in the mid lane. Aoka, or Mr. Chica Sanders is really just gonna flash out. Aoka taking a lot of damage. But is going to be able to walk out as well.
Yeah, that was a good attempt, but the flashes are burned, but they will survive, which is kind of what matters here, as they can't really take any objectives. So overall, it's a positive trade, but not that big of a positive trade for this team.
The next objective up is the next Rift Herald, I believe. So they might be looking for something top lane too.
I don't think Rift Herald is coming up
Oh
this
no,
time. I think the snake is coming up
you think?
personally, or I don't really know what it's called.
We
The
will
purple
see.
dragon. Sure, it would be a
Yeah.
dragon.
Then yeah, it's going to be. Sorry, I'm getting word. I'm getting word from our source of information that it's actually going to be. Drum roll, please. Baron. It's going to be Baron.
Yeah, I didn't think that Shelly. I think Shelly has already died once. Or twice, I guess. Well, not died twice, but
Oh, but
Maybe
here comes
twice.
the baby doing a lot of damage to Cage Reaper. Cage Reaper going to
What's going on here?
survive.
That's a Zigzal will plant. Boom, miss. That was a good dodge. Just flash. Very good dodge.
Not like LeBron. LeBron would have fade away, dunked it. Sports talk.
That was very close. I feel like he would have smacked it in onto
Yeah.
the tower.
Yes.
And, but you know, barely missing the rim there. Snare ball. Not quite gonna make it.
The next dragon now 1 minute away. The next cloud dragon. So it's looking like that's going to be the next objective now. That's going to be prioritized. And there's the Rift Turtle that was talking.
Let's say we'll be crashing to the mid tower here, so it's gonna be a lot of damage.
Oh, and
We'll let-
here comes the Astral. Gonna do a lot of damage to Monte Carlo Method. And he's gonna go back into Madman as he's going to actually fall down. But here comes the Nutcase with the ulti going to do a lot of damage. Mr. Chicken Sandwich surviving, everyone's surviving except for Aoka. Aoka's getting really low, it's gonna be falling down. As Olaf gets a double kill, one on Set and one on
That is
fade away.
so huge. This side of Chicken Riders, because now they're in an optimal position to take the dragon, and that makes if they're able to do so, which likely they will, they'll be able to get this 2 soul point, and that's gonna be very, very I guess big. And yeah, I think you just done a great job that fight. That's lots of damage again. Herrick ult being very useful there, and I just like there was the engage from the side of this team, but after 2 seconds, didn't seem to have much damage, and they kind of just got out DPS'd due to Herrick ult not allowing DPS to come through.
And now Mr. Reaper is going to get that blue buff. Oh, and here comes Mecha in the bot lane. Baby's just gonna run. They're not really turning. Now they're really afraid of turning because here comes the TP. That's the Dragon Rider. He doesn't have boots just yet, so he's not that scary. But he is still the Forge God, so we never know what can happen here.
Yeah, I think
are
he's
they
one level away from ornaments, so pretty scary.
And now, as we can see, look at mid lane though. They're really letting a lot go for this bot pressure. As now Mecha and Captain Snake can just sort of run down Dragon Rider here. He's getting extremely low. He's just gonna walk away. Actually, here comes the Sat ult. It's going to probably be all she wrote for the Dragon Rider, and the Caitlyn ult not even used.
Yeah, they would just pick up that kill, and so overall, I mean, tops and bot tier 2s were traded, but overall, since they were able to pick up that kill, it's overall a good play, I guess, for this team. But again, remember, they're down 3 dragons, so I mean, they're up to 1,000 gold, or 2,600 gold approximately, but they're down 3 dragons, so really depends on that soul point, in my opinion, on whether, or who has the advantage really comes down to that soul point. If the Dragoners can get it, they'll definitely be in the driver's seat, but if this team is able to kind of prevent that with their arguably superior poke, and maybe they were able to poke or like kind of engage in kind of, I guess, separate phases where Terra won't be that useful. I think that will give them an advantage if they're able to do so. But if not, I feel like Terra is going to be so big.
So what you're telling me is you want to try and pick someone off in a pick off.
Either that or try to like kind of go in but not commit. So a lot of champions that are good for that, for example, I don't know, for example Ukon, right? He can
really
Aaron started up here.
I think they're sort of overestimating their damage, especially now. There goes the Ash ulti, not really gonna land on the clone this time. The next case though is going to probably fall here, as he is the Dragon Rider finishing him off. Maybe in a pretty bad position, but he's just gonna exit out, and now Mr. Chicken Sandwich going to take out Mecca.
They will be going back to the Baron here. I mean, a lot of poking from 6, so I don't know if they can actually do this. It is a 22-minute Baron here. They will try. It looks like they will not succeed. Oh,
yeah, Cage Reaper can just poke them out again.
Again, they're pretty low here, and Ziggs has good damage potential. Only by a lot of people.
Capitan Snake falling down, and that's the end of their Baron adventures. A lot of damage coming through. Oh no, Lightning is in a bad position now, and maybe they can transition into a Baron if they get the right pace, as Baby going in, not really finding anyone, as now he's getting really low, going to finally fall. AO is getting really low, finally falling, going to get the kill on Capitan Snake, and now Dragon Rider alone. His team dead, no one with him. He is going to fall now to the hands of Cage Reaper.
Turns out to be a good trade overall for the set of this team. So again, I think that was a 5 for 3. Maybe 5 for 2. Actually, probably 5 for 2. I probably can't count. So overall, very good trade. They're able to prevent the Baron. So yeah, welcome to the team of this team. Well, the next dragon is gonna come down here. So really, the game rests on this dragon, in my opinion. As whoever gets this dragon is gonna be probably gonna be the favorites. I mean, if Dragon Ryders gets it, they're still quite a bit behind, so they will still need a few more objectives before they can truly say that they're winning. But overall, I think whoever gets Dragon is gonna be pretty happy with it.
This team really needs to stop this dragon, though. This will be the full Dragon Soul for Chicken Rider. If not careful, they can use it. They will scale the game to maybe an a permanent buff, but unfortunately they don't have any vision towards it. They don't have anyone strong enough that can just walk up and get vision. This Cage Reaper in a really bad spot here is actually going to turn the tide, I think. Going to be shut down by the Dragon Rider, but that's going to be Baby falling down. A lot of damage coming in. Mekit trying to survive as long as possible. Aoka trying to get a stun, and will successfully get a stun on Capitan Snake. That's going to be a lot of damage still coming from him. The next case going to get a double kill. Mr. Chicken Sandwich is in a very bad position. Going to fall to the nutcase again, and the Dragon Rider, the only person alive. Will he be able to do anything? As it's a 1 Capitan Snake versus the Dragon Rider, going to chip away at his health. Another one. Another auto. And will that be it? Will the Dragon Rider escape? It's
He has flash here. He could flash. It looks like he will not need to, and that's still a favorable trade in my opinion. I mean, okay, that was a 4 for 4, I'm pretty sure, so equal in terms of
The Chicken
that.
Rider is going to start the dragon. Not
Yeah, with the board here.
very, not a very risky decision. Um, since Baby is walking up, he is full HP. They are going to TP, and they are going to finally secure the dragon. The Dragon Rider coming in though, Mecha in a pretty bad position is going to eat both Baby and the Dragon Rider and going to ult, walk out. Mecha, I think a bit of a miscommunication there, but they're finally going to all escape with their lives.
Yeah, that was a very calculated. I mean, I really hope that was a really calculated play, but it's also pretty risky. That Captain Snake there, getting that dragon, getting out with Caitlyn E. Very clean in my opinion. If that was in fact calculated, I think it was very close. But this team just grabbed dragon this.
Yeah, they're focusing the Baron. Oh, something made me really sad, and it's not to see the man immune on the app, but a bit of a fight coming down over here. Aoka going to actually land the ult. 3 people on her team. That's going to be a lot of damage coming through from both sides. Captain Cage Reaper is going to do a bit of damage, while Capitan Snake is going to also try and kill away. As now they're starting the pairing yet again, but have they not learned from last time? This Cage Reaper on the Ziggs will be able to poke you out. Oh no, in a bad position, Mr. Chicken Sandwich, and now they have to back off.
2 times by the Chicken Rider trying.
Caged Reaper, Miss Capitan Snake getting caught out this time. Baby is really low. Unfortunately, Aoka is now in a bad position, as now they're going to get chunked, incredibly so, and Aoka barely surviving.
Yeah, this is.
Capitan Snake with the cute landing.
That was just insane, honestly. They tried it twice. They tried the Baron twice. They were unable to. And Captain Snake putting on a shell there with that snipe. No more positioning. Very solid this game, and I mean, with this, they're gonna start the Baron here, and I think they'll be able to get it. Although that is here the blast plan, so this will be an interesting test.
Oh, if that worked, if they got Mr. Chicken Sandwich, which they're looking like they're going to, the next case doing so much damage, and trolled, the clone trolling Mr. Lightning, and that's gonna be it. That's going to be the Baron at the end of the day. But wait, Baby is in there, going to do a lot of damage. Both Jarvan ults falling down. Baby getting pretty low, but I think that's gonna be all she wrote for that fight.
Yeah, I mean, that was Baron to the side of this team, and that's huge. That's a lot of gold. They're back now in the driver's seat, in my opinion. After that Dragon and after that Baron take, they're definitely in a commanding position. However, I mean, Ornn is pretty strong. The ornaments are starting to come in here. Ash doesn't really have the Infinity Edge yet, but I feel like, and I mean, I guess Salas doesn't really have an ornament. I mean, he does have the Hourglass, but I feel like he would rather get Death Cap if he was able to get it. And
is it gonna be the Bork? Yeah, it is gonna be in Bork.
it's gonna be Bork. Okay, so Bork is gonna be the one that's upgraded, going for that extra utility, or not utility, but extra attack speed, AD, and I believe lifesteal. I'm not sure about the lifesteal part. No, just AD and the attack speed there. So going that over, saving up for Infinity. I forgot you can even upgrade Bork.
Yeah, I still prefer the Manamute build, because you know you build that third item and Molten Edge is extremely strong. But again, still a very good upgrade. Still a very good, strong item to go on Action Park. Oh no,
He will be caught out here.
And Baron, or not Baron, Dragon is coming up in approximately 1 minute. He will be back up by the time, but that's going to be their bot tower going down now for the Chicken Riders.
The rest, they still have Baron, so in theory they could make big plays happen as the Oracle will hit onto 3, although no engage will follow.
And now bot lane is, they're just going to keep pushing bot. Trying to front door there. A bit of damage coming through, a lot of pokes coming through by both sides. But this is the thing though, this team can actually poke them because of their range, because of Ziggs being Ziggs. And here comes Ziggs ulti from Baby. uh, stealing that ultimate, but like, there's nothing they can do other than clear the wave.
So they're unable to get the crack the inhibitor here with the Baron, so that's kind of unfortunate. But they will look to grab the Cloud. Oh no, looks like they're going to go for a pick, but I guess they've decided they're not gonna come, and they will simply set up the Ocean Dragon, and that will be theirs for no extra cost. Let's talk a little bit too late. You know, by a little bit, I mean maybe about 20 seconds too late. But I mean, who knows? I mean, they weren't in a position to contest anyways, so.
Especially Lightning being topside. Not really much you can do from there.
That's the kind of the power of Baron, right? You get those waves pushed in, and they have to clear those waves, so you just get free objectives. And it's kind of one of the really powerful, or one of the strengths of Baron is that if you get Baron, you're pretty much guaranteed the next dragon as long as it spawns about the same time, or before or during the exploration period of the, or
But
just before or right
Baron
after.
actually just ran out.
Yeah.
So that means they're back to a normal 5v5 classic League of Legends.
And as we're looking at the items here, Ashe doesn't really quite have infinity with Kalen's on 3 items, so Kalen's definitely ahead of the Ashe here. I'm looking at mid lane, and I feel like he's going to go for the Leandries there, very, very powerful item on the Ziggs. I think he's going to eventually look for a Death Cap for Void Staff, probably Death Cap is his final item, and that will really make Ziggs really strong. Ziggs is incredibly fed, and I think...
Well, Baby versus Pancake is going to get a lot of damage taken here from Baby. But look at that healing! The execution is currently not enough grievous wounds to be able to cut that much HP, that much shield. The Dragon Rider is behind them. Mr. Monte Carlo method going to fall, and that's going to be it for the fight. Actually, that's what I would say if Cage Reaper didn't just kill and Ashe with a fadeaway Q, and that's going to be a 3-for-3 trade.
Yeah, very even game, honestly. This one's, in my opinion, way too close to call. I mean, the side of this team does have Waffle, but it's set E. Okay, so looks like no farther action is going to ensue here, as both health bars of the remaining members of this team is quite low, and they'll just be backing off here. So again, this is a very close game. I mean, blue team is ahead a lot in terms of towers and objectives, and they're pinging the Baron and the Cloud Drag. They want both, and I think they have a very solid position to get both, assuming they play the team fights well. But again, linear team fighting the comp, so not the hardest to pull off the team fight, the win condition, but not the easiest either, because of, you know, Taric ult, Silas just being a nuisance, really, and but well, the Chicken Riders playing pretty well to kind of keep themselves in this game.
Agreed. As now, little bit of a just looking for a pick here. Actually, Dragon Rider in a position. They're gonna ult, but Mr. Chicken Sandwich is just gonna walk away. There goes the ult, the enchanted crystal arrow. Dragon Rider going to have to look for the disengage of it's gonna be all she wrote for the fine Nimble.
Yeah, so both teams flexing their muscles, their abilities on top of each other, and no real action is going to happen here as this team will look towards the Baron as another ornament comes in. Looks like that will be the Death Cap, the Death Crown, as I call it, on the side of Silas, our baby, and he has a lot of AP. He's doubly going to get half his health.
Monte Carlo method going to do a bit of damage on the ult. The whole up is getting extremely low. But going to be able to get out of it, Baby in a position, and Ioka and Lightning 13 now taking a lot of damage. Unfortunately, that's going to be the death of Ioka, that's going to be the death of Monte Carlo method, that's going to be the death of the Nutcase, and Baby going extremely low, but not going to be enough. That's going to be a 4-for-2.
Yeah, 4-for-2. For the side of the Dragon Riders here, and I think they'll just kind of do whatever they want. They're able to get control back, and I think they'll be just able to get the next dragon here. Death times are decently long, Although maybe they'll be here to contest. I mean, that timer is the dragon spawn timer, so if they come right away, only Ziggs will be there to stop them. Although, I mean, Ziggs is a formidable challenge. His poke is very scary, and, well, he's a pretty fed Ziggs.
Yeah, agreed, agreed. Especially after both those two Baron attempts, they're kind of. I would be a little scared of the Ziggs, honestly, after that one. But they're just setting up for it. And unfortunately, Carrie Reaper is in a bad position. Mech is going to TP in to try and help Baby, getting extremely low. We're going to be able to get out of it.
Again, they will look to grab this dragon here. Looks like they'll just allow a heavy pass if they're trying to sneak it with the Baron numbers advantage, and this will be a exciting 5v5 to watch.
Yeah, as they're looking. Gage Reaper is really low as well. He didn't have the 10 to back, unlike Baby. So he's going to be coming back full HP. And that's going to be Caitlyn trapped on the Olaf. Getting down, Capitan Snake securing the kill, 1950 and that's going to be a lot of damage, but unfortunately this fight is broken apart as Capitan Snake getting extremely low. Decided to ult. Baby not going to be enough, and that's going to be Cloud Soul going to the Chicken Riders now. Triple kill for the Dragon Riders.
That was absolutely kind of insane, in my opinion, for the side of Chicken Riders. It's a 5 for 1. I mean, excuse me. So huge. I think they'll be able to get to the Dragon, get the Baron here probably as well. So they're very ahead, and I feel like they're back in this one. I mean, they're ahead. What? 900 gold? Oh, that's just 1.4k gold, and they're in control of this game now. It's their game to lose.
Yeah, now they're just gonna secure the Baron. I mean, they have no competition, no contest. That's gonna be free for them if they win. Looking for a mid push.
Baron will be secured as the game transitions into the mid to late game here. Looking at items, both sides have their core items. They're moving to their 4th and 5th item, and really everything looks pretty normal here. Both junglers going for that kind of phage item into full tank essentially. Tanking for their team. Horn is actually pretty strong. I mean, he has a lot of kills and that's a lot of gold, and he's able to kind of bulk, kind of push those really. I mean, I wouldn't call them expensive, but big tank items really make him really hard to kill, considering that they don't really have any tank shredders on the team of this team. Although Caitlyn, I mean, that does some damage, but she doesn't quite have the armor pen yet, and so she's not really going to be one-shotting the war anytime soon.
And then maybe back off. Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're playing from inlane. Going to be a bit damage going in. Carlo method now so getting solo mid already without the fighting breaking out. And yeah, that's gonna be it. That fight. Going to just push in the mid, come get the inhibitor as another fight breaking down. This time flips the bot. In that case, getting stripped finally will be picked off by Mr. Chicken's English. And that is going to be the fight on the inhibitor. Going down, then trying to search for something more. Not going to be able to find a jump, but it's still doing a lot of damage to turrets coming down. The Indians brought the inhibitor, and now they're looking for a fight. Just with the opening, and that's moves on a rack, they step down the snake, take it out like a jersey. Look at HPs, really low, and I don't think they're getting it bad here. They're running out, they're giving it up. They're chilling, and they're saying, hey, you might have gotten the better of us this, but we will finish this game eventually.
You know, absolutely epic. Honestly, like 2 inhibitors coming down after that massive turn of events. And I feel like they're in a commanding lead, and with 2 inhibitors down, there's not really much to play for, or to play with, I meant, for the side of this team. And I think that inhib will lead to the Elder Dragon. It will lead to the next Baron. And this is looking really good for Dragon Riders.
Now we're getting to the 40 minutes. This is getting progressively worse for this team. Dragon Riders does scale a lot harder than them. They're in a better position than the game soon. The Dragon. No? Okay. Apologies for that.
Alright, that's a little bit better.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, sorry about that. And yeah, now we see like they're looking for sort of a play on the top side of the map this time. Baron coming up in 2 minutes, but Elder Dragon coming up in a minute and a half.
Yeah, so two big objectives coming up here. The Inhead will continue to be down for when the objective spawns. They will still be down. So a lot of them is gonna come, and I just feel like it's really kind of hard now for for this team to kind of make a play because of the Terra goals and the Ornal being so big
Here comes the fight. Baby getting real low, but nothing to worry about as he just escapes yet again with such little HP. And that's gonna be top lane. Finally falling down, maybe as the Nightcase tries to win, tries to sell something. Going to fall to the Dragon Rider yet again. And that's looking like a 2-man stun coming from a Yoko. It's looking like the beginning of the end here, as they're just gonna push it topside.
So what's like that was a very tough Ziggs double to get the Ashe out of the Terra goal, and I feel like that's actually pretty big. So it was a good play. Well, one play, or not good play. Good, I guess, ability cast, but the play I feel like is still in the favor of the Chicken Riders as they start this Soul. This Elder Dragon.
They are going to keep pushing top though. Yoka and Dragon Raider here.
Because they know
a lot of damage to Mecha. It's getting extremely low. Going to take still even more damage, but is going to escape with this by the skin of his teeth. Now this team is trying to sneak an Elder Drake before they can end. Nutcase's job is just to clear the way, keep them safe. And here comes Monte Carlo method doing a lot of damage, but not enough to protect baby. Look at him, just deleting everyone. Unfortunately for this team, this is the end. This is all they needed. The Chicken Riders to end this game. Nutcase not even going to get the consolation code on the Dragon Rider, and look at their base.
I feel like this might be the end of the end for this team. There's no way they can contest Elder Dragon here. They're just gonna be able to get Baron for free, and Baron with 2 open inhibs is gonna be at the minimum 2 more open inhibs, if not just the game entirely, as there are no towers inside the base of this team.
And there is Baron. I think they're gonna recall and just gonna push in super hard, either topside or just run it down mid.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a way for this team to really come back here. They're just so, like, their base situation is just so bad, and I mean, they were looking really good, and they got sold, they got Baron, and it kind of all fell apart for the side of this team, and I feel like the Chicken Riders have got this one in the bag. It's their game to throw for sure now. They have double buffs. I'm not talking about the double 3-minute buffs of red and blue. I'm talking about the Soul plus Elder and the Baron, which I think will be pretty much insurmountable because of the gold difference as well.
Yeah, it's just the end now, as they're just going to run it down mid and end the game. There's nothing they can do to anchor this team. So that's gonna be the end. Look at all those the Dragon bursts. Didn't even have to auto. That's gonna be the end. GG 1-0 Chicken.
that was absolutely stunning performance by multiple members of Chicken Riders here. The Orange really being strong both in terms of laning phases and like he were able to be at least even if not a bit ahead in the laning phase. And once it comes to the mid and late game, his Orange horns were honestly pretty solid in his positioning. Is able to lift him to victory. And if you look at the other members, Tarek ults, early game, some of you can make the argument that they weren't all perfect timings, but I mean in the mid to late game, last couple fights I saw those Tarek ults came at the exact right moment to help him win the game, to win every team fight. And Baby here making those hero plays, diving onto the backline, completely destroying Caitlyn and Ziggs in several fights, several crucial fights in the mid and especially the late game. Really helped to turn them around and net them this win. Congratulations to the Chicken Riders. Who's your MVP for this game? Animosity.
I do have to say that Dragon Rider played really, really so I'm probably going to give it to him for game number 1.
Yeah, I feel as well. He's been really consistent in that top lane throughout the entire game. And I think Baby and Aoka has also put down some pretty good performances. But yeah, I would agree with you. I think the Dragon Riders is going to squeeze slightly ahead of Baby and grab that MVP. What about the Ace? What do you think about that? Who played?
Really? Baby played it really well. And at the end, it was just too much for this team to handle.
It's pretty insane here. What do you think about the Ace for this team? Who do you think put up the most resistance against this this late game domination by the Chicken Riders? Only late game domination. Okay, early game, mid game.
Cage Reaper has to be it. Capitan Snake helped as well, but Cage Reaper just did so much damage on the Sigs.
Yeah,
really
I mean his
stopped them from taking Baron twice. And the game would have been over 4 if it wasn't for Mr. Cage Reaper there on the Ziggs.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think both Ziggs and Caitlyn were again they were very close in my opinion. Ziggs probably edging us slightly out. Caitlyn had really good position, I think, in a lot of fights. In the game it was a bit chaotic. Maybe was able to get on top of her several times, but that was mainly just because the team fights were so chaotic. I feel like in the early game, he really was able to kind of keep her distance and play pretty well in the positioning game. And I feel like that I'm gonna give it to the Ziggs as well for just kind of big damage, and him being able to stop those Barons were kind of crucial in keeping them at least even in the mid game. Unfortunately, they were unable to keep it even in the late game, as the Chicken Riders will be able to clutch the win. So that will be it for game 1. We'll be back to you guys in game 2 with the draft in just a few minutes. Be right back.
And welcome back to game number 2 between the Chicken Riders versus this team. First band's gonna be Darius. So what do you think of that, Mr. Faded?
I feel like they're just better than the same champions as last time, which I mean, I would arguably do the same. They're on blue side now, so they don't have to worry about Caitlyn at all. They can probably just pick Caitlyn. And also, this team, I think what's happening here is this team is losing 2 bans. I think either because of a sub or a penalty. I assume a sub. I'm not sure, but that's what I assume because there's no way they missed it 3 times. So yeah, it's probably because they have a high ranked sub, and that's very interesting to see how it goes, as they're unable to kind of ban a lot of the champions on the side of Chicken Riders, which does have a pretty big champion pool. Except maybe the top. I mean, the top lane. Chicken Riders, the Dragon Rider, he also has a pretty big champion pool, but we've seen him on a lot of the same champions. But I know he can play a lot of different champions. I'm sure. Hopefully he doesn't play me too much for that. Anyways.
And now an Ashman. So,
Ashman.
do you think we'll probably see a Caitlyn ban?
No, we'll see the Nunu and
No?
Willem ban, which opens door for the Chicken Riders to grab the Caitlyn, and that will be locked in. Very obvious. There's no need to.
Sana.
Ash and Caitlyn are both taken, so here Senna is probably going to be the best pick here. Or, I mean, you could try the Jin as well if we're really feeling. Oh, the
Senna.
Shin.
Twitch.
Lulu. Okay,
They
open the
can actually-
doors for Twitch.
Yeah. Yeah, they can actually go and protect the ADC comp. Maybe if we see an Oriana next.
Yeah,
With
that'd
the
be pretty insane. This team going, maybe arguably going for another team fight comp. We see last time they were going for a team fight comp plus poke, but most of the team fight comp. This time they might go for another one, but in a different style. Instead of AoEing your opponents down with engage, they're gonna try and right click people to death with arguably an ADC and maybe a very hyper carry mid laner such as Azir or Oriana.
Okay, so for this team, I want to see an Oriana, I want to see an Ivern, and there's the Kog'Maw.
So the Chicken Riders picked hard engage. They went for the Malphite, and it's responded to by Kog'Maw.
Pick the Kog'Maw. That is an interesting pick.
That is, I mean, in my opinion, that was a pretty expected pick considering the Lulu and the Shin coming out early. Kog'Maw, they've prepared this pick, possibly, I guess, because they could have banned Caitlyn. They didn't ban Caitlyn, so I assume they prepared this pick specifically into the situation where they'd be giving the Caitlyn over. So it'd be very interesting to see what their game plan is coming to the second pick phase.
Mm-hmm. And there's the Oriana ban, this time from this team. So that means they don't really want to pick it. Another hand ban coming out from the Chicken Riders. Let's see a Lux and let's see an Ivern.
Lux and Ivern is, I feel like, a little bit too much protect comp, but
Nah,
it's very interesting to see if.
it'll all be okay once Kog'Maw just shreds everything.
Absolutely. But I mean, Chicken Riders, they have a pretty okay, they have a pretty flexible draft. Not too flexible. They have to be the go-in kind of comp because they already have Olaf and Malphite, which again their only place to run in. So I'm assuming they're gonna be they're gonna be either kind of compensate or I guess trying to get synergies in terms of either something like Galio, which I think could be pretty nice, or other champions that can just kind of either shut down Kog'Maw to be able to compete with Kog'Maw in the late game, which is kind of hard because Shen and Lulu, or maybe go for early dives and early bot control here, and there's the Lux will be picked in,
And there's
hopefully
the
goes
Lux.
bot.
And let's see the Ivern from Chicken Riders. Ivern support.
I believe the Lux is going support. Sorry for stating the obvious here, but the Wombo combo team coming out from Chicken Riders with the Malphite, Yasuo, and Lux. Mostly the Malphite Yasuo, but Lux again very good AoE damage as well. Won't be the Caitlyn Lux in the bot lane, very powerful range lane, long range, high poke, really threatening. If Lux lands binding, you're pretty much screwed. As this team finishes up the draft with Zinzao and Fizz, so pretty kind of early game champions here. So I'm assuming they're trying to get a pretty strong mid jungle 2v2 going on here, especially pre-6 when Yasuo doesn't have ult and is then able to synergize with the Malphite for the ultimate, and then that will allow hopefully their bot lane, cutting Kog'Maw and Lulu, to scale up to that late game hyper carry level where they can then 1v9 or 2v8.
So What do you think of both of these comps, right?
Cowardice.
Wait, pardon me. Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
Hmm?
Okay, could you repeat what you said? I didn't quite catch it.
Oh, so apologies there. What do you think of this comp right now? Of both of these comps?
So again, this team, strong mid jungle 202, 2v2, good nap presence with the Shen. They're trying to prepare their bot lane, setting their bot lane up for success in the late game. Whereas Chicken Riders, they're kind of going with a more smooth team. A team that's able to do a lot. You know, Yasuo. I mean, they're obviously a one combo team still, but they're able. They have some flexibility with Caitlyn Lex being decent poke options. Malphite again, he's able to engage, but he's also able to peel. Although I think he's gonna be engaging because the Kaguma are pretty juicy with not much mobility, and that with the Yasuo, well, not last pick, but pretty much last pick, is able to really cause problems for this team if they're able to get that Malphite onto Lulu Kaguma. It will be absolutely devastating for this team. However, Shintant, Shin W, and Lulu W are all abilities, as well as Zinza ult. So they have some counterplay. Will they be able to get that counterplay off? I feel like Chicken Riders, they have the more streamlined comp to execute. Caitlyn Lex, pretty simple of what they do. Now for Yasuo, even more simple of what they do. This team, they have a protect comp, and I really hope to see a lot of kind of peeling from Zinza and Fizz if their comp gets strong, but then also assassin changing most to kind of one shot if the Kaguma is not in a position to 1v9. For scaling, I think both teams are pretty good scalers here. Unlike Chicken Riders, again, you can never really not fall off with a one combo team because you just hit 5 people with the Malphite ult and the end. Um, so very good scaling, I guess. Very high potential. But again, if they get behind, it's gonna be a bit of a problem as they don't have guaranteed scaling. As Caitlyn doesn't really outscale Karma, and like they don't have any guaranteed scaling. Like this guy's gonna come online once we hit 40 minutes to guarantee win the game. So they don't really have any they don't really have insurance, but they don't exactly scale bad either, especially with that high potential. And looks like we're gonna have some technical difficulties with Animosity here, so he will be in the silence for a couple of minutes fixing his stuff.